Elections, Labour Party and its presidential candidate Peter Obi have debunked reports of supporting or stepping down for PDP presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar, even as Obi insists that he is in the race to win the election. Now, the head of media of the Obidati Presidential Campaign Council, Diron Onifade, in a statement says, quote, "We are not in any talks with Atiku or anyone else with a view to stepping down from a race in which we are the front runner. Peter Obi is in the contest to win in consonance with the aspiration of majority of Nigerians who desire a new Nigeria devoid of lies, corruption and selfish scheming." End of quote. Atiku had in an interview with the BBC Hausa service claimed that he was having talks with LP's Peter Obi and NNPP's Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, and that one of them may soon step down from the presidential contest. To unbundle this is the National Secretary of the Labour Party, Umar Farouk Ibrahim, who joins us now, so that we'll take a look at this and the campaigns generally. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much, Samna, for having me.
Yeah, I mean, just before we go into the issue raised by Atiku Abubakar, specifically during the week, we haven't heard so much from Labour Party talking about this issue of currency swap with a lot of Nigerians on the streets. The assumption that Labour Party is close to the organized labor in the country, and it's a party that's derived from that. Why does it look like the bickering is more between the APC and PDP, and Labour Party doesn't seem to be talking about the fuel scarcity in the country, talking so much about this currency crisis that we are facing and all of that?
Well, thank you very much. Labour Party and the organized labor union are indeed very, very angry. And they are very much concerned with the hardship Nigerians are facing, particularly with this Naira exchange and the so-called petroleum scarcity. But we have sat down and looked at it critically, the situation. What are the reasons for all this? There's no reason for any how Nigerians should suffer insufficiency of petroleum product. No reason whatsoever. There is no reason for us to face this hardship, to change Naira, to have value for the money you save and the money you have for you to make use of it. I was talking to you yesterday, to God, I was only able to get 3,000 Naira.
A whole national secretary of Labour Party.
And I have more than
and you would have a lot
Naira
of
in the
political
account.
hangers on around you.
You understand? So I sat down and imagined myself being that poor, being that helpless. Then what of the peasant farmer? What of the people around? And that is why we are working for them very tirelessly. That is why we are talking to them very tirelessly. And we are appealing to them to add more patience. Remember how many days? Just barely less than 3 weeks. For us to decide to vent our anger in the polling, in our polling boxes, our respective.
Yeah, but we also haven't seen you addressing the issues, through a press conference or being forceful, like, I mean, the way you've seen Atiku Abubakar of the PDP doing. And then, of course, even the candidate of the governing party saying that this is not the policy of the APC,
don't mind
that this is the policy of a cabal. Is it because somehow maybe some of the policies may be favorable to Peter Obi and your party? That's why.
See,
because that's what the APC is claiming, that Atiku Abubakar seems to be deriving some benefit from it. That's why he's saying that Buhari should not extend the currency deadline.
It's just a hypocrisy. It's just a hypocrisy. Why should Atiku come and cry the inefficiency of the ruling party APC? Why? It's hypocrisy. Why should the leadership of the APC or the governors forum of the APC come and start crying forward about the inefficiency of the APC? Who are they going to deceive? Me, you, or the general public? Everybody is aware that these people are hypocrites. They are just there they are so wicked in their actions that Nigerians are just, condoning them, because we don't want to go. If it is in any other clime, this is not what we'll be carrying. It will be entirely a different thing. They cannot even dare it. The government cannot even dare it. But Nigerians are so obedient, and we don't want. That is what they want. They want to trigger, they want to trigger the youth into taking action that will surmount to another thing differently, so that they will sabotage the democracy.
Sabotage.
We don't want to sabotage
Okay. Oh, so that's the thinking. Okay.
So that's why we have to calm down.
Okay, you're thinking that this may actually precipitate into a crisis that could lead to the cancellation or postponement of the election,
for whatever reason. Because
whatever.
all the actions, look at it. Sam, now we are not children. We know these people. We know them very well, and they know we know them.
Well, this must be a deadly game. Let's just come back to the main issue at hand here. You are the National Secretary of the Labour Party. Do you, by chance, have any documents seated on your table, or that of your national chairman, from the PDP's presidential candidate seeking a sort of, quote, support from Peter Obi or from the Labour Party to him? Or are you by chance engaged in any talks? Because Atiku Abubakar, while granting an interview to a foreign broadcast service, said that he's talking to Peter Obi and Rabi Musa Kwankwaso, and there's a tendency that one of them may step down. So as the National Secretary of the party, do you have any documents seated on your table related to that?
Not at all. Not at all. It's been in speculation. That is why I'm so disappointed with Atiku Abubakar, a renowned politician, a former vice president, to bring himself so low to start insinuating that there is talk, there is a merger. After they have done, their own, all these gimmick games, bringing his picture and that, bringing Umbrella and the Obi picture, match. And now what they are doing, they'll bring Atiku and then bring Peter Obi and merging this, and just to deceive people. You see, they don't know what to do. They are so confused. Labour Party and Peter Obi has devastated them. They are confused. They don't know what to do. So that's why they are just catching from here and there. Why should even you, in their own imagination, think that Peter Obi will come and put tent with Atiku Abubakar? If Peter Obi had wanted
they
to
worked
stay
together in 2019. He was his vice presidential candidate in 2019.
That's what makes him the perfect candidate to be Atiku's vice president. But Peter Obi wanted to be the president because he has seen the wrong in these people that are doing, and that's why he opted out. If Peter Obi had stayed to run with Atiku or have picked him, because it will be going to be a natural ticket for them.
Now, could it
but
be
unfortunately, PDP have gone, they have already missed it right from the beginning. So Obi has found out that, look, APC, PDP, they are all the same player. They are only changing goalposts.
Okay, could it be by chance that Atiku Abubakar may have, picked his phone and called him personally? Have you been speaking with your candidate to see if by chance maybe Atiku, called them personally and say, oh, Peter, my friend, why don't you think we should just have a seat together, just you and I, and talk? I mean, have you asked your candidate if there's been anything like that? I mean, not party to party basis, but individual to individual basis.
When Atiku granted that Hausa interview, when the insinuation started going around, Peter Obi called me. I said, Your Excellency, this is what he said. He said, there is nowhere, there is no how. In fact, since he joined the Labour Party, 2 months after, or 30 days after he's joined the Labour Party, they've not even been in talking terms. He's just facing his own business. Nothing like that. In fact, the only semblance of alliance talk that had happened was between the Labour Party and the NNPP, which has since, before we even pick our vice presidential candidate, the talk collapsed. Since we picked Deti as the presidential vice presidential candidate of Peter Obi and not the Labour Party, then we sealed all discussion of merger and acquisition. We can only acquire now. We are just acquiring their supporters.
Very interesting.
We are acquiring their supporters.
Okay.
They are coming in troops.
What?
And that is why they are being destabilized. They don't know what to do. That's why you see the bickering between them, the infighting, the attack that is happening between them. This one attacking this one attacking.
Well, the two big candidates actually say that your candidate and Kwankwaso don't really matter in this game. So it's between both of them. But when we heard of that news, we also reached out to NMPP, and NMPP in its denial actually brought out a new dimension. I mean, Professor Rufai Alkali, who is the national chairman of the NMPP, said some northern elders have been sent to Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso to actually speak with him and all of that. Do we by chance have any group of southern leaders that also have been sent to Peter Obi to talk with him?
Well, I want to know for the South, but what I know is that Peter Obi has categorically stated that he is not stepping down for anybody. He is here, he is on the rest, or he is in the rest to rescue Nigeria. He is in the rest to give Nigerians a purposeful leader. Of
course, I still have with me here the National Secretary of the Labour Party, Umar Farouk Ibrahim, and he's been speaking with us on the issues of alliances and all of that, as earlier said by the PDP's presidential candidate, Atiku Abubakar, and of course with a response from the Labour Party. And I come back to you. Is the Labour Party itself thinking of reaching out to other political parties? Because, I mean, based on analysis here and there are talks that the Labour Party alone cannot win this election. So if PDP is thinking of, getting other political parties to join it, isn't it a pointer to the fact that the PDP is already thinking that I can't win these elections alone? Is the Labour Party thinking that way, that it will need other political parties to be able to? Since you can't do a merger now, are you in talks with other smaller political parties, or even maybe Atiku Abubakar and the PDP, or even Bola Tinubu and the APC itself?
You see, the thing is this: Labour Party and its structures, the presidential candidate, the presidential campaign council, we have found out that Nigerians, the genuine Nigerians who are looking for a genuine change, have dislodged these APC and PDP structures. We have already dislodged their structures. So all we do now, we are in contact with organized labor, organized societies, those who wants to rescue Nigeria. There are many groups which are not politically registered, but they are political. And these are the groups that we are talking to. These are the groups that we want to bring together, or we are working with, to see that we rescue Nigeria.
So not political parties?
Political parties, they have their own candidates. We have no problem.
Yeah, and that's why we could actually reach alliances. We've seen in the last election, 2019, some presidential candidates of some other fringe political parties, because they don't like being called smaller parties, coming together to say, look, we endorse President Muhammadu Buhari. We don't need to go into the contest, so Nigerians should go with him.
You see, that's about 2 weeks ago, a political parties come and give it its entire support for the presidency of Peter Obi. So we are in talk with those that they share our own ideology, and they share the manifesto of our own principle. But like I said, when you look at the votes, we have about 93 million votes. Basically voters. About 15 million votes. So you have almost about 70 something or thereabout that have not been voting. So you see, you don't need to talk to PDP, you don't need to talk to APC.
So you're counting on first-time voters.
We have those first-time voters, and we have those voters that are protesting, that they don't want it. And so you see, we have our own strategy, we have our own plan. They have missed it, and we have dislodged them. So that is why you see they are
but the talk is that Labour Party cannot meet up with the 25% requirement in 24% in 24 states of the Federation.
I can assure you,
and that there's a tendency you may not get the majority vote.
Samna, I can assure you we have the majority vote, And I can assure you that we have 25% that will make Peter Obi to be the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
And one of the major criticism is that Peter Obi has been going into minority areas of the north, speaking with northern Christians mostly, and trying to push sort of an agenda which may seem religious to want to hit back at, for example, the dominant Muslim north. Do you think that strategy is one that is actually working well?
You see, when you have the majority vote that is being divided, one candidate, we have almost the majority vote of the northern extract has been divided into three. They have been divided into three. So you see, and they have neglected the minority. So come and pick where you can pick. And Mike, we're only looking for 25%. In how many percent of the...
so the target is actually for Peter Obi to get 25%, at least the minorities in those areas, if he can get the majority votes.
We already have our popular votes. Do you understand? We already have that. If vote is going to be cast today, Peter Obi is going to have the popular, the majority of the votes.
Interesting strategy.
And then, when you look at what is going on between them now, I can assure you, I am from Kaduna State, and I can tell you there's no party that will come with anything. Even 25% you are talking about for the PDP and the APC, they may not even get it. I'm telling you this. And the Kano you are talking about, we have our own strategy, and these people have missed it. They are not they are not in touch with Nigerians. They are only in touch with themselves. APC are just talking to themselves. If they know the anger that is in the land, the anger that is outside, they will not even present any candidate for election. I'm telling you. And what is there? The byproduct of the inefficiency of this government is the byproduct of PDP's failure. And they are the same people. It's Atiku, unfortunately. If it were anybody else, it would have been a different thing. But we are inheriting bad governance. We are inheriting, bad characters. We are inheriting so many things. We are inheriting which are bad. And the people that are now ready to vote to change Nigeria are there. And they are 3 times more than the people that have been voting them into power. That is what they forget.
You are from Kaduna State alongside the vice presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Deti Baba Ahmed. Do you think that you can actually summon that 25% out of Kaduna State? Because, the last rallies that we saw, a lot of criticism was against your vice presidential candidate, that he couldn't get enough people to turn out for the rallies. The rally was looking very scanty, and there were accusations of fraud here and there against one person saying that, look, the monies for mobilization were embezzled. And many people keep saying that in Zaria, where Deti Baba Ahmed comes from, he can't even win his polling unit. Can you win your own polling unit for Obi?
Well, I have won my local government. I was one time an elected local government chairman. So that will tell you that I can win election. I have won election. Deti was one time a House of Reps member. He has won his local government. And he was one time a senator. He has won his senatorial district, which constitutes of about 8 local governments. So then, if anybody is coming to tell you that we cannot win election, he's just talking. We are talking. They are just talking to. You see, that's why you see the governorship, the sitting governor is crying foul. Is crying everywhere because they don't know where to touch. They don't know wherever they go, they see Labour Party.
Coincidentally, it's your state governor.
You understand? So you see, Samna, honestly speaking, Labour Party is good to go.
Just before I let you go, National Secretary, there was this news that came in during the week saying that INEC has allowed the Labour Party now, based on a court judgment, the Federal High Court has now granted Labour Party the opportunity to field candidates in about, I think, 24 states or so, which INEC had rejected. What does this mean for Labour Party, especially since you were being accused of not having candidates in several areas? What does this mean for your members?
Well, you see, INEC, it is no more INEC now. It is between INEC and the judiciary and the courts. You understand? We have done our own. Where we felt we have been disenfranchised, we go to the civilized way, and the court has granted us. Then if INEC say no, let us see. They know what is going to happen. Even if they feel someone there without us, without our own candidate on the ballot. They know the implication. So INEC is not going to do anything
right. So that means
really.
There's a temptation that if INEC doesn't do the right thing, it may actually lead to the cancellation of the election.
That is the issue. That's why INEC should just bury whatever they have and then let them do that. And the thing is this, INEC should probably be advised. It is not the name of the candidate that's going to be on the ballot. It is the party. So if court say put so person, the only thing is you just amend